through music. But the fact that they can come and give you what you asked for, and then you still be like, well, this is
I
not
don't
how
like
I
it.
expect. I don't like it. It's like you expect them to read your mind, and the crazy part about it is you didn't even give details of how you wanted it. You just said you wanted it. So it's like, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It's what it is.
Like with me, like when for example, when the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 soundtrack dropped, I want to say in July or August for in Japan, I was like, man, I wish that would come over here. But that's like 6 discs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, I just throw it on that.
Yeah.
Just throw it on that. I'll listen to it. Just throw it on that. Oh well,
yeah.
they shouldn't let it just be on the Switch app, bruh. Y'all been saying they need to have value for you to damn purchase it. Now you got it. They're not putting it everywhere else. They not.
For what?
You know,
for what reason?
We had this whole conversation yesterday about it. And like I had already gotten, it's funny because I guess it was a shutdown because they haven't answered me back yet. But it was one of those situations where actually if I could, I don't like misinforming people on exactly what they say when they say stuff wrong. So if I'm a quote you, I'm gonna quote you right. All right. So we make sure that you get your stuff right. So he said, so there's two people who have said something. The first person said, bro, unless you're 40 plus, nobody is using Pandora. Maybe I should go back and put this into context. So he said, as someone who is not at all on Nintendo ecosystem, now take that, put a pin in that. We're gonna put that up there.
Okay.
How is this a W? Wouldn't a normal company just announce a partnership with Spotify or Apple? So my response was, y'all are straight pulling strings and it's embarrassing. You can listen to Nintendo stuff on Pandora. Nintendo made an app for those who want to listen to their music and have another platform to do so. It's not that hard to understand. So the response to that was, bro, unless you're 40 plus, nobody is using Pandora, and I'm pretty sure any Nintendo songs on there are either combo or covers or unauthorized uploads. Then he continues making people pay into a subscription service to even listen to any of their songs is stupid. If they're already paying for Spotify, Apple Music, or hell, even Pandora, why would they want to subscribe to another service just to play songs from a certain company? Now, the second person, before I get into my response, the second person says, I'm just saying, most people already use a streaming service for music in general. I know there are fans who don't listen to music, and for them, this is great. But making another music streaming app is counterintuitive. So I say to all of this.
What?
I say to all of this. You have Apple Music or Spotify. Go type in AG Aonuma. Yeah. No, not AG Aonuma. Koji Kondo. Go type in Koji Kondo and listen to your music. If you have already subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online, you don't have to pay any extra money. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the first hole. I was like, I can poke a hole in this already.
Yeah.
If on top of that, the key word from the second person, I really like how he used this. I want to bring this out into light. I'm just saying most people already use a streaming service for music in general. I'm gonna stop at the line. Most people ain't all.
Exactly.
So as a business, as a real business, you ain't attacking the same people every single time with the same method.
You're not.
You have to get the other people. This is what the app is for. This for them. This not for you. This for them. So if you have a problem, if you have a problem with the music app, then don't download it. It's not for you anyway. It was never for you in the first place.
Nope.
It's for them. And if you're complaining about having the music and all that other stuff, but it's not on your Spotify or it's not on your Pandora, or it's not on your Apple Music, guess what? Go to YouTube. I'm sure it's there. And if it's not there either,
they're gonna pull it soon.
and guess where you could go? And guess where you could go? To the Nintendo Music app.
There
so like I don't see how complicated that is for anybody to really understand. You just complaining about stuff to just be complaining. I know who it is. I know who you are. You are a Sony fan or a Microsoft fan because you got to find something to talk about. Your company ain't talking about enough stuff, so you got to find something else to talk about.
Nothing. Nathan.
There was so many issues with both of those comments because one, what does your age have to do with Pandora? If you like Pandora, do Pandora. But
Pandora's still being used by everybody.
Still being used, and there is a free option. Is it annoying? Yeah, free option is annoying, but it's still a free option.
All them damn commercials.
Exactly. But if you're saying to yourself, man, I really want to listen to Nintendo music and I want it in one location. Yes, would it be convenient for you to have it on Spotify or Apple Music? Yeah, but is it convenient to Nintendo? My thing is that to make the customer comfortable isn't always best for the business. Like I can easily, and we've had this conversation before, Nintendo and any company can easily say, you know what, we sold 5 million. We just gonna drop it down because I think we've met our quota. So now we're gonna let anybody else that didn't purchase it, we're just gonna drop it down by 50%. You guys have fun. And you guys would say that was pro-consumer, but in reality, it's killing them.
Yeah,
right. I don't get it because you want a business to do something for you, but you're not willing to support the business.
Right.
And I think
not want, demand.
Oh yeah, you're right. Demand. And like Jay said before, like they're not your friend. Like it's just like their whole thing is to make money. There is a reason why you're the consumer and they are the business. They make the games, we play the games. Like, I don't know how to make games. So I'm dependent on other people to do so, to make them so I can enjoy them. Can I give criticism? For sure. But I'm never gonna, well, you should have did it this way, you should have did it that way, you should have, like, it is what it is. If I don't like how they did it, then I just leave it alone. But to say that there was everybody's on Spotify, everybody's on Apple, no. Tidal showed that wasn't true. Like Tidal picked up people, YouTube Music picked up people. People switch all the time. If that was the case, there will only be Netflix. There will only be Hulu.
Yeah.
But now we got about 10 subscribing services right now that you can really spread all over in the case to where one day you can say, I'm watching my favorite movie today. I might want to watch it again tomorrow, and it's gone and it's on a whole nother streaming service that you may not even subscribe to.
Max.
Right. And that's super facts because nobody ever, and I think I put that in one of the responses. Like, how you gonna have Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Disney, Paramount, Max, all of that, and like I don't hear nobody complaining about them. But then as soon as the music app comes around, it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't get it over here. Like you realize all of those other besides exclusives, for the most part, you getting all the same stuff. Like
right, exactly.
Yep.
The circles overlap. So what are you complaining about? Unless you broke. If you broke, then just say that. I can't afford the music app. I'm broke.
Right. But it comes with something in its entirety. Now, to the point of somebody saying, you know what, I don't have a Switch, so I don't have NSO, so I can't enjoy this. It's a valid complaint, but at the same time, this was meant for the fans of having NSO. That's just like saying, well, damn, I can't play, I don't know, Horizon because I don't have a PlayStation, but I really, really want to try it. I mean, PlayStation.
Learn to make friends and go with somebody else.
I mean, realistically, it's even simpler than that because you don't even necessarily need a Switch. All you have to do is just open up a Nintendo, and then just pay $3.99 or $4.99 a month.
You ain't even got. Hold on, you ain't even got to do all that. Most people know someone at this point. Most of the people complain about this.
Oh yeah, they know somebody.
Netflix know somebody who has an account who would let them use their account for the music app.
Exactly. Yeah. Drizzle.
Exodia has the right.
God damn
confidence.
it.
Bro, just say it. Like, bro, it.
Like-
Look, once again, you got so many people who complain about the NSO. You say they shouldn't force me to use their subscription. So ain't nobody forcing you to do nothing. That's a you issue.
Unless Nintendo roll up in your house and put a gun to your head and say, pay for this subscription service.
Yeah.
Right.
You ain't doing nothing. So if you want it, get it. If you don't,
That's it.
shut the hell up.
That's simple.
Like
It's
they're
that simple.
not obligated to make a deal with Spotify. They're not obligated to make a deal with YouTube Music. They're not obligated to make a deal with whatever you use it.
Right.
They're not.
You know what I
It's
say?
comfortable.
If you really want to fix this problem, do like Pokemon and Animal Crossing and go ahead and go boycott that.
Yeah.
Start it now.
I'm pretty sure Nintendo will enjoy it. I'm pretty sure they will enjoy it. Because like I said, there has not been 100% valid excuse. Like I said, the app runs fantastic. The music that's there is great music. It's not like it's some ran down horrible quality music. This is top-notch quality music that you can play. And they already have playlists that are there. So that's a big up. That's a big step up, because imagine for anybody like myself, like I don't know the names of a lot of these songs. And I know that, I know the names of the games, but the songs, I'm like, I have no idea. It was kind of similar to when streaming services started, and I'm like, oh, these shows had episode names. Like I just thought it was, I just know it for the episode when Martin did this. I didn't know it had a name to it, so I don't know that. But for them to have playlists, I'm like, oh, this is the Nintendo Switch section. This is the Mario section. This is the whatever section. Like that's dope. And then you can take a look at it and go from there. Like the only creative thing I would say is like make some custom cover art for it, because sometimes I think it's just like a picture from the level or something like that.
Yeah, it looked like they very much was like a last minute thing. Like they've been secretly handling this, and somebody was like, you know what? We just gonna go ahead and sign off on this so y'all can get out of our faces. And they were like, oh crap, we forgot to add the pictures. Somebody play some games.
Like, why am I looking at the Deku tree? I'm like, can we not use some different cover art for this? Like, all right. But that's literally a small gripe.
I think they would have done better if they gave you like options for what picture you want displayed. Give you like 2 or 3 options and let you pick between them. And then if that don't satisfy you, yes, let you do a custom one.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, it just came out.
They
literally shadow dropped this on Tuesday.
Ain't even a week old.
Yeah,
I don't know an app that's ever come out and hit the nail on the head, because even with this the Pokemon trading card game, it didn't hit everything on the head. Out the rip. There's some issues here and there, but I mean it's this first iteration out the door, and people just gotta understand that they don't want to, but they got to, man.
Like everything takes time.
I will say I definitely found quite a few songs where I'm like,
I'm right there.
I will go ahead and slide this over to FL Studio.
Yes, sir.
Look, I found a few songs I didn't know hit so hard, even though I know I heard them before, like that dang news daytime thing. That's I'm like, listen, I was like, I did not realize this song hit this hard, and I know I heard it before.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. And they've been adding music. They updated some more music yesterday. So I'm like,
I got a notification today, like 2 hours ago.
They just did some a little while ago.
Yeah,
that's like, dude. So they constantly doing it. So the people complaining, I'm like, bro, y'all ain't even got it.
Hey, I got a suggestion. I got a suggestion for all you people out there that got your Switches that don't feel like paying for an SO right now. And if you want to pick up a new game, go ahead and pick up Mario Party Jamboree. It comes with the 3-month trial. Go ahead, add it. Then you get Nintendo Music for free as a bonus for the game. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But Andre, the composers are not there. I'll wait until the composers get there, as if it's going to change the music.
That's probably another reason. Hold on, I'm glad you said that. For all the people that are mad that not all of the music was just thrown in haphazardly, You do know that they do have to take on contracts with the specific composers of those songs.
Correct.
So if you want those people to get paid, like you're saying so much about, you want them to get paid, then you have to wait for the contracts to go through so they can add the music in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just talking out your booty, and we don't need to hear that because it stank.
Well, that's Twitter.
Yeah,
That's Twitter in a nutshell.
Well, it's my opinion.
Well, sometimes
Well,
the
your
opinions
opinion
needed.
smells like raw sewage. Could you please shut your mouth?
Basically.
Thank you.
Basically. So with that being said, we did get that Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch announcement trailer, definitive edition.
Shocker.
And I will say, like I said on the podcast, the live reaction the other day, it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I want HG House Live for this one because
I do too.
Because once again, I played Wonderful 101 over to my nephews on the Switch. I prefer to play it on the Wii U.
There you go.
Just the superior version. Now, this is going to be interesting because we're finna see who all. This is going to be another Metroid Dread situation. Remember how we had all the people talking about, I love Metroid. They just need to make a Metroid game.
Mm-hmm.
Then they played it. Man, this hard.
Yep.
This is one of the easier Metroid games. What the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I swear it's the easiest 2D Metroid. It is the easiest 2D Metroid.
And this is gonna be another one of them situations because Andre, I know me, you, and Shadow Fox told people, y'all don't want this without the gamepad.
Yeah.
Here we do. Here we do. I'm like, you don't want to have to keep switching back and forth. And if you have to do that, that's gonna get old real quick.
I'm curious as to how they handle this.
I know we're gonna get them complaints.
Yeah.
It's either they're going to have you pause and then go to the menu and do everything in the menu, or they're gonna have the scroll wheel pop up on the screen and cover the whole screen, and then you're gonna have to move from there to do stuff, which will leave you vulnerable.
I would rather them just put it on the app.
That's I was gonna say
that's what I'm hoping they do.
We suggested throwing it in the Nintendo app or something like that. Side note, because it wasn't too far after. I want to say it was a couple days after. Jay, you and I did the live reaction of the whole trailer. And then OJ said it, and I was kind of mad because his show starts before my show. So, but do you think that part of that that online test or whatever that they were doing has something to do with the Xenoblade Chronicles X stuff?
More than likely, yeah.
They were talking about the 32 player online and
because a large portion of that game is basically an MMO.
Yeah.
That was live until 2020. I think it was still live until
it was live up until this year. You could still get on until earlier this year.
Yeah.
Because I know I stopped at the Telethia whooped my ass for the 8th time. So I stopped. That would have been 2021, I think. So I know it went on for a while because it did cut off, but then they turned it back on. I do remember that. So, but this was one of those games where I constantly hear people talking about it it's behind the Wii U paywall. What are you talking about?
Really interesting.
If you're talking about a console being a paywall,
yes,
of course.
Right.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? And the other thing too is, and this shows to me that a lot of people they just want to fit in because I'm sitting here y'all hate the console, but want all these games over here.
Yeah,
and a lot of the games actually used the gamepad, which means I don't think you want them problems. So, like I said, I played that Wonderful 101 on Switch. I did not like it. I preferred it on the doggone Wii U. Bayonetta 2, it's an action game. It didn't really need the gamepad. Let's be real about that. It didn't.
No, it didn't.
Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge didn't really need the gamepad. It was nice to have the moves listed on the side,
right,
for you, but it didn't really need the gamepad. Wind Waker and Twilight
special.
Princess. Yeah. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I do not want to play without that gamepad because I'm used to it now.
You're
I
pretty
don't
much
want to
not playing it the way before.
Yeah, I don't want to have to keep hitting pause to go through the map and the items and stuff. I just want to be able to tap to the side and look. Just to be honest, a lot of people let other people tell them to not like the Wii U, and that's what's being put out on Front Street right now. Yeah. So, because I ain't never seen this much port, I hadn't seen this much port begging in I don't know how long.
I will say the other piece, because Rob, Rule of Two, shout outs to him. We had a little conversation about it too, and he said this should have been called the deluxe version, not the definitive version. And I think I said something in the lights too on the trailer, is that this comes out in March.
February, wasn't it?
It's probably early next year.
So depending on when it comes out, obviously it's coming out for Switch. A lot of our stuff at this point we're gonna assume is backwards compatible. Mm-hmm. But I think the slickery in this would be if the Switch successor came out not too far before or after. And then that way when the Switch successor comes out, then you can hypothetically use the original Switch as your gamepad. You know what I'm saying? So
I need that feature, man. I need that feature.
I think that piece is, Nintendo does what Nintendo does, but I think that piece is so enticing to make somebody, for like all of us people who have already experienced it, and it's like, this is ridiculous. Now it's gonna be like, oh, it's ridiculous, huh? So you about to go get that Switch too? Then you about to go get that next Switch?
Like
then,
straight up?
They're like, absolutely right. with the wiggling mouth. Absolutely.
Now you're gonna think about it. You're gonna just Scooby Doo that.
Yeah. But I will say one thing, Jay, when you were mentioning about Metroid and kind of how people either were getting stuck and initially they were claiming to be fans, I think the key point with this one is how long it's going to take you to get your skill. Like when I first played this game and I was grinding, like I was still in the military at the time. Like, I took vacation. I stayed up like from morning to next morning, and I'm like, when the hell do I get this scale? Like
Chapter 4.
And Chapter 4 is a long way.
It's a long way.
So it took forever. I got beat by so many different monsters that were just around about. Like you running through just the first area, and it's like, high level 100 or something. Like, dude,
it's like, hello, tiny person.
It's even funnier
because you don't get, once you get your scale, you don't even get the flight piece.
Yeah,
you just get the driving piece.
You just get the driving piece. Yeah,
this is the one that you really need.
And what's really messed up is some of those you like, oh yeah, you level 18, I got you. I'm level 25, and you still get rocked. You like, but how, Sway? Yeah. Oh, because that monster was actually bigger than you, so scale to size kind of matters too. So you're like, what? Like, come on, man, that's the game cheap now.
They will step on you. Like you will get stepped on.
Like, you can run as much as you want to, but
and then you got to worry about the aggressive ones that come out of nowhere. You just try to make it through the field, try to make it back to home base. Then the aggressive monster just come out and sideswipe you, and that's it.
Yeah. So and I think a lot of people they're not ready for that, dude.
No, they're not.
They really ain't gonna be ready for that. No. They're not. You know what I mean? We know we're gonna be laughing at them, but they're not gonna be ready for that. It's gonna be a David.
These fail compilations about to be immaculate.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a David Jabbit situation all over again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is bad level design. I don't understand why I walked into this open area. I'm in the introductory level, and there's a level 55 monster here.
How did y'all like this? This is trash. Oh, you know what's going to come up even faster than that? I forgot. I completely forgot about this. And I forgot that it was a thing even back when we had the original game. Somebody's going to go into the city and they're gonna be like, "Watch out, there's a car," and they're gonna stand right there, and the car's gonna go through them. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is not real. Oh, this is all fake." Blah blah
Like,
blah.
why are you trying to get hit by a car, dude?
Right.
Same way people complain because you can't pet the dog in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
People weird, dude. People weird.
That spawned that whole Twitter account. Can you pet it?
And what's so funny is they'll be like, "Oh, there's no actual hit detection in the game. There's certain enemies that you can walk through. Now try and walk through every enemy though, and see if you get that same reaction.
Try it.
And some of them, the reason why you walking through them is because there's a side quest that's attached to that.
Yeah.
And once you activate that side quest, you ain't walking through nothing.
That's it. Game over.
Yeah. So it's one of those situations where I'm like, yeah, do I want the game to come? Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but I just think a lot of people are lying.
Like it.
I think a lot of people are straight
we gonna have people in the game that's like old boy that's in the first section with the glasses that's full of himself. Think you know everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you rolling around 5 levels higher than him, but he trying to pretend that he your boss or something. I'm like, bro, I if we had to fight, I'd eviscerate you right now.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, once the game doesn't really open up till you beat it. Just like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, just like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the game does not open up until you beat it.
So we talked about this.
This was the game that started that.
We talked about this too. This game is massive. Like for anybody who has never played this game, and I said it yesterday, I'm very much a person who's like size to scale type of person. So like outside of planets and stuff like this is one of the biggest games like of all time to me. But like in my head, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to me was bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5. Why? Yeah. Because in Grand Theft Auto 5, you only have one just big island, right? And it's Los Santos. But in San Andreas, you got Los Santos, Los Fierro, and the other one. So you got 3 cities versus 1 city. Even though all those cities were all melted together in 5, like in my head, that's 3 cities against 1 city.
I mean, and also PlayStation 2. You have to understand like how crazy that was.
Right.
At that time, yeah.
Right. So keeping that in mind, this game is like what, 5 continents or something like that? And
it's 5.
And none of these continents are anywhere near small. Like it will take you some hours to get from one side to the other, and that's not including trying to fight. Yeah. And then,
which you will have to fight a lot, especially when
you definitely do.
And it's funny
just trying to fight, trying to survive.
Yeah.
It's funny too because even when you finally get your scale, like the world seems it does not make it any smaller.
It actually bigger because now you fly up and you see all the stuff that's up. So get to before now you got stuff that's going up.
All the mountains that you couldn't climb before.
Yeah. The post game content is probably going to be something. Probably going to be pertaining to that thing that was at the end of Future Redeemed. And I'll leave it at that. Because there's some stuff in Xenoblade Chronicles X that I'm like, wait a minute, that looks awfully familiar to. Okay, I ain't gonna say nothing.
You already going too deep,
right?
that looks awfully familiar. So I'm guessing that when they said that, that's why I was like, I'm gonna have to pick this up, ain't I?
And see,
I'm going to get for the extra information.
Yeah,
but see, I'm so hesitant though, because like RJ was saying. Is one of those things to where you know what the game was with that gamepad, because like he mentioned, Wonderful 101, Chronicles X, Lego City Undercover, like that was top notch. I didn't care we didn't have Grand Theft Auto. Lego City Undercover with that gamepad was amazing.
Yep, my jam,
boy. And then I tried it on the Switch and I was like, this is nasty. I don't like this.
It's not the same. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, bruh. If it's built from the ground up for that system, it hit different.
Yeah,
right.
upgrading. Oh, but it's faster on the newer hardware.
I don't care.
Like it don't matter, dude.
It don't matter if you lose functionality and features.
There you go.
Yeah.
The wrong people will be like, "Oh, they finally upgraded this. I'm glad they got the performance upgrade, performance, and it's like, go back to Sony. Like, we don't need y'all.
Yeah.
Go talk about that performance stuff somewhere else. you wasn't there shooting when we was in the gym. You wasn't there when we had to get the USB for the additional stuff to plug in to make sure our stuff was running. The enhanced million. Yeah, you wasn't there.
I do remember this, and I know me and Shadow Fox will always laugh at this. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. People would get mad because you could use whatever controller Nintendo had, which means remote and chuck was on the menu. And if you knew how to use your Wii remote and chuck, if you tried to use the Pro controller, you was getting dealt with.
Now I know this was shown as a concept, but did this ever come true? That light gun that you could put the Wii U gamepad on top of it to play Call of Duty?
No.
I was like, yo, that'd be nuts.
Because you're talking about using the zapper with it.
Yeah.
I wish they had done that.
They were going to, because they had 2 games that were supposed to utilize it.
Right.
Realistically, all you had to do is just add motion control to the gamepad itself, and you would have been set.
Put the bad boy on top. And then you literally got like this big scope or this big window, and you could just play it.
Yeah.
But you didn't need the TV.
The thing about it was, though, when you had that remote and chuck, you could do headshots while jumping, and people was like, "Man, this ain't fair." I'm like, "Bruh, I'm using a remote and chuck, bruh. You using twin stick? We ain't the same,
right?
We ain't the same." So that was one of those things where you're like, "Dude, like that." Nobody will ever admit, because a lot of these, especially a lot of these gaming websites and publications, were hardcore into Nintendo needs to go third party because that's where we want them to go. And I'm like, bro, the way they build their stuff, it ain't gonna play the same. It's the same thing that, like, when you have people saying, "Oh man, if Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was on a real system like the PS5, this system would be." I'm like, bro, art style don't change, bro.
Right.
The art style ain't gonna change. And to be 100% honest, y'all wouldn't buy Monolith Soft stuff when it was on Sony's system.
No.
The same thing what happened with Bayonetta and Platinum Studios. They went to Sony and Microsoft and wanted to do Bayonetta 2. They said no.
Right.
Because the fan base didn't pick it up. They didn't purchase it.
Right.
But the Nintendo fan base purchased it.
So did.
And keeps purchasing
we got a 3.
Look, we got 1, 2, and 3, and an origin story.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what's the possibility? Because I know we've talked about the second screen thing for a while. What are the possibilities of it only being doable with the Switch Lite?
That's gonna be
only with the Switch Lite. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a chance, but I don't think they do that.
Yeah. I feel like if you can, so this is how I think about it. Realistically, outside of being home, there's not really a chance for you to use dual screens like that between a Switch 2 and the Switch, right?
Right.
So in my mind, if there's some way to transfer data between a USB-C, all you have to do is plug that joker into the USB box in the back and let the Switch handle all the grunt. It should be able to at that point, whatever the new system is. And it really doesn't even have to, because the Switch itself has its own processor and everything in it. So if all you're doing is just connecting to say, yeah, hey, these two consoles are in agreement with each other, then you should be okay. So it shouldn't just dial down to just the Switch Lite at that point. It should be able to connect with the whole Switch family.
The reason why I bring it up is, outside of the one-offs to where, you can't use Labo with Switch Lite, and Labo was a big gamble. But when we look at the handheld aspect, yes, the original Switch is meant to be hybrid, can do both. But anybody that's trying to Switch Lite, that's the better portable situation.
Mhm.
Because when you look at having, let's say you have the OG Switch and you have the Switch 2, you're now talking about having 2 docks and you have 2 of the original Switches with the whole Joy-Con situation, to where I feel like that would be a more comfortable and more suitable situation with just a light. And would be enticing, because if you're taking the original off the market and you're like, okay, we don't plan to make a light version of the 2. Now we're still going to have it to where you can play the original Switch games on both consoles. So if you don't want to cross over, but to kind of, entice you to pick something up just in case, just so you can test it out the waters, keep your light, and then you can utilize this on the Switch 2, and then hopefully you'll make that big jump at the end.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jack. I don't like your idea because I have
I know.
a regular Switch. I am not.
I got one too. I got one too. So that's my thing.
My daughter's got a Switch Lite, so I guess I'm kind of safe. But I don't want to move all my stuff over.
It feels great though. Like I've had a Switch Lite when it first came out. I bought one. It feels great as a handheld. It really does. Granted, I did buy. I forget the company's name, but they made the grips that you can slide it in there. I bought that, and that made it even better. But I was just looking at it from just a handheld standpoint. Like, of course, it will make sense for both of them to do it because they have the same hardware. It's just one can't dock and the other one can. It's just I'm looking at the comfortability, especially when that was one of the biggest gripes with the Wii U. The gamepad is too uncomfortable. It feels cheap.
Right.
So
all them people that never touched it knew that, Look, we got lies being told, because ain't no way you gonna tell me that that's uncomfortable and you have never touched the system.
Yeah, like I said, the only downside to that thing for me was it didn't have multi-touch. That was when we were getting into multi-touch at that point in time. But outside of that,
it was
I didn't like
technology, honestly.
Yeah, I just didn't like using the stylus. That was it. But other than that, I
lost that dang stylus. I don't even know where it's at. That was like day 2 for me. Where happened to the stylus? Oh well, I can just push the button.
I mean, you could always, if you still want to use your Wii, you can always get one of them stylus packs off of Amazon for like $5.
Right. It was never that serious.
Yeah. I do miss asynchronous gaming though. So
I thought that was the next move. I really did.
I really want to bring that back.
It would have been if the Western gaming media wouldn't have tried to pull a fast one. Because, like I said, I remember the E3 2011 when everybody was on stage talking about how great this is going to be for the gaming industry, and I remember E3 2012 when EA got in their feelings.
The bad thing is.
The funny thing about that whole situation, though, was Iwata. The whole time, Iwata was just like, okay, all right. Y'all keep lying on our translations, all right.
But I've never seen innovation rejected like that. Whether it's gaming platform or anything, because even you think about something on a smaller scale, we all grew up using audio jacks. Like whether it was the plug in your phone or plug in your CD player, your cassette player, whatever. And for Apple to just say, nah, you don't need it no more.
And then everybody else was like, you know what? We don't need it anymore.
Right. And then they would get picked on, and then everybody follow suit.
Then they turned around because people started complaining and put it right back in the next iteration.
Right.
And then they started selling the little dongle thing after that. Because I remember that, because they were like, yeah, we ain't doing it no more. Them sales went down them 2 quarters. Them things went right back in.
Yep. But it's a bold move though, because it's something that you think is commonplace, and they just did away with it. So, like when we talk about any type of innovation, even when we talk about 3D TVs, while it did eventually fail, it was something that they were pressing heavy. But like this was going to be the next move for media.
Yeah, but the problem with them was like, y'all remember how much them glasses cost?
That was ridiculous. I was like, why can't I just get the plastic ones?
Yeah, I go to the movie theater and just, instead of putting them in that recycle bin, I'm gonna put them in my pocket.
Right.
Because I'm not finna be paying no dang. Because I remember it was one pair I saw was like $700. I'm like, for this?
But the crazy part
which
about
is
it was
more,
Nintendo
which is
does it without
wow when you
glasses.
compare. Let's say it's wild when you think about it because the VR headset does the same thing and it's cheaper.
Same thing.
You had to go. You had to go get the whole TV for that sucker. That's so
Sure
crazy.
did. Like I still got that TV that did 3D. I just don't know what the glasses at.
And the funny thing about that whole situation was when the 3DS dropped and it was glasses free, and then I think it was Hisense, the TV company Hisense did it too. Sony got pissed off. Because Sony was the one that was pushing that hard with that Bravia. And I'm like, the Bravias was already expensive, and then you got to spend even more, and then you just got Hisense, and Nintendo just basically screwed you all the way over. Like, you don't need glasses for that,
right? They tried what they tried to do is they tried to limit the ability of the technology in itself. It was like, listen, we really not actually that far with this glasses technology. But if you come in right now, I guarantee if you stick with it and you put the money in right now, we will figure it out together. We will come to the glasses less TV. And they were like, well, that ain't accurate.
100% Nightwolf.
Yeah.
I was just reading that question.
Drastically different.
The thing is, like, because Nintendo did what was the right thing was finish tapping out the 6th gen.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, HD cost a lot of money and it killed a lot of companies in the 7th gen. So if they would have been ready to go, it would have been. That's the whole reason why. And I keep going back to this because I'm like, look, everybody know Iwata was a nice dude. Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah. But there was a reason why Yamaguchi freaking said he was a success, because he had that streak in him there. He will destroy you.
Yeah.
And he'll do it with a smile on his face. Like, y'all really need to read Ask Iwata. That is a very good book. Like, I'm sitting here like, that's that man mind frame. I'm like, that's why he got chose. I'm like, bro, he just as ruthless. He's just nice about it.
Yeah.
He's nice about it.
Please understand was a statement that meant way more than it did. You gonna listen to me and
understand.
That's what that was.
Please understand that I'm about to gut you like a fish and feed you dinner at the same time.
I said please.
And just go back and look at 2014, what they did with them directs. They had a direct damn near 2 directs every quarter.
Yeah.
They introduced Treehouse Live. When they did that at E3, I'm like, it's over for everybody else, because everybody else is showing CG trailers. They're actually showing you the game with the developer, with somebody playing, with the interviewer.
Yep.
And this is not like, they only showing 10 minutes of gameplay. No, they're showing 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what game it is.
Yeah.
And it's not Nintendo games, it's some of the third-party people who had their stuff in there too.
Right.
At that point, that's when me and that matter of fact, I think it was you, Andre. Me and you just said, like, dude, it's over for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That point it was over.
I remember.
Because Sony started looking at that, because I remember Sony I think it was Layton made a statement that caught everybody out, because they were like, man, we paid how much for this whole setup? Yeah. I remember Microsoft was like, we got our own theater. We ain't got to spend no money.
Yeah, they ain't spend no money.
Like, dang, y'all was spending money for this? It was free.
And Nintendo was just like, look, man, all we got to do is just buy the floor space. Our digital direct is done. Y'all ain't got that. We don't have a presentation. We just got to pay for these 3 days.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. So at that point, I'm like, bruh, E3 done.
Yeah.
And in under 5 years, it was done.
Yeah.
Iwata killed it and smiled the whole time.
Yeah. And it's crazy because now everybody else is following suit.
Yep.
So
but they the ones that's out of touch.
Right. They were falling off. But even then, to add to that as well, Nightwolf, if you really think about the very few games that did take advantage of it, if we had all 3 manufacturers on board that went that route of asymmetrical gaming, like, we would have creativity right now. You wouldn't have a Sean Layden saying that Sony is not creative at this point in time. I'm paraphrasing, but they're kind of losing that creativity. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Like,
that issue.
It was his fault.
It was his fault, but it was because I mean, even if you look at from a sports section, that's too easy. Most games could utilize that gamepad because when we look at 2K, well, as much as I hate it, I love basketball. It's one of those things to where you're missing control. I mean, you're running out of buttons of like how to pull up this play, to do this, to do that, to do this, to where essentially you can look down at gamepad. Oh, let me pick this play. I'm straight. And most people are like,
Two
oh, well, I
taps
don't
on
want to
your
look.
screen.
That's it. Like, oh, I don't want to look at this. Isn't it? Like, dude, it's a quick up and down. Like, it don't take long. I've seen people look at their phone, shoot off a text message real quick, and get back into Call of Duty. Like, it's not it's not that deep.
Well,
It don't even take all that. Even because Jay talked about it multiple times with Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that was the way I was playing it. Pro controller in hand, gamepad right to the side, touch the screen
Right
for
there.
whatever you need. Keep going.
Yeah.
I say because for the people that complained about Star Fox Zero, I'm like, my
I don't
nephew
understand
at the time was 6 years old, and he picked up on it in the first level, and your grown 35-plus-year-old behind can't do it.
Now, here's another thing too, and maybe y'all can shine some light because, like I said, I don't claim to be a big Star Fox person. What is the fan base looking for? Because honestly, it sounds like they're looking for 64, but not 64. Like,
I wish I could answer that. I don't know.
Okay, I could give somewhat of an answer based on how people tried to ring me in my own video.
Okay,
still got put in the dirt, but they tried. What people want is to have a Star Fox game that is, whether they want to say it or not, they want an action-oriented Star Fox game that's going to feel more like Star Wars than Star Fox.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They want
That's what they want.
They want the movie-esque version of Star Wars where you can go from planet to planet to hop off, do some things.
They hated adventure.
They hated adventure on Dinosaur Planet. They hated
which is weird because which is weird because people loved Crystal, but they hated the rest of the game. Yeah. Which just meant to me that they was just a bunch of thirsty furries, but that's a whole different discussion.
But yeah, like that game was fun. My only problem with Star Fox Adventures on Dinosaur Planet was I thought the flight sections was like just thrown in.
They were thrown in there.
Yeah. I thought they
could have they were thrown in, but they were thrown in because Star Fox.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, it's like they've evolved because it's not like, okay, I'm just on rails shooting and flying, because now you can do the battle tanks and even have like the smaller robots. Like, so they
gyros.
They went further with it. So at the end of the day, like, to me, anytime I hear people talking about it, and sometimes they're like bigger content creators that say, okay, I love Star Fox, but it's almost like, I think you loved Star Fox 64 when it came out, and you realize as an adult you really don't fool with Star Fox. Yeah, like you just like the idea of like, oh, this was the game that was really like showcasing the 64. Because I know there's people like that with Mario, like Mario 64. Like, there's never been another. Like, have you not played these other 3D Marios? Like,
have you not played Galaxy? Have you not played Odyssey? Have you not played Galaxy 2?
So in defense, I will say this, Andre. In defense, because I think there's a little tiny smidge of validity. Had they made a Star Fox game that was like Starlink, but used the Star Fox 64 map, and not necessarily, like the whole ground hovering and all that silly stuff, but I think a lot of people would have taken to liking that game a lot more. The problem is, though, with that game versus the actual 64 game, is those are actual levels. So if you think about Aquas, like you're in the submarine the whole time. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure the whole planet is out of water. So I don't know how you transfer going unless the R-Wing is now a transformer like it was in Starlink. I don't think that.
No, the R-Wings transform. R-Wings transform because they've been doing. I think they've been doing that since Star Fox 64, right?
Yeah. But
they transform.
like Venture and Assault, they kind of they
didn't show off that capability.
Yeah, they didn't show it off like that. Yeah.
Starlink was
But
kind of
my thing is though, with Starlink though, and it sold the best on the Switch, still didn't sell that much.
No,
yeah.
So if people really wanted a Star Fox game that wasn't Star Fox, that was the best example, and they didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Now, and that was during Ubisoft's like better days. We were still in like, oh, Ubisoft,
when they were stealing people's good grades.
Yeah, they were like trying to sell the whole Toys for Life like thing, but but like I said, to me, I've never like I've played Star Fox, and I'm like, okay, I really like it. Like I really like adventure, and I like assault. So when I listen to people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, well, what in the world are y'all looking for? Because do you want it no longer to be on rails? Like, do you want it to be something totally different? You want it to like do that evolution that Zelda did? Like, what is it that you're looking for? Because I swear every game that's come out after 64 has been dogged on.
Yeah, it's not 64. And realistically, I think they can do the Zelda formula, whereas you get a Star Fox Legends or Star Fox Corneria Chronicles, which is like on rails or something like that. That's a crap ton harder. You know, like Metroid 5, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh dang, you actually have to be moving and like know these sequences in order to stay alive type of stuff. And then you can have your actual like Star Fox, where it doesn't have to be an open space game, even though I guess Star Fox kind of is that. Though realistically you spend more time on planets than you do in space, but that's neither here nor there. But like you can turn that whole thing into a open planet game where you can utilize the tank, where you can utilize the submarine and the R-Wing and jump off or jump out of the plane and actually have to do all that without having to go to multiple different systems and all that.
Because right now it's kind of like an arcade game to me.
Yeah,
it really was.
That's what it originally was.
It was always intended to be an arcade style game, but I think honestly the biggest problem for Star Fox right now, as far as the most things considered, there's not enough of it out for people to really get used to it on a regular basis. Like I've said before, that if they were to partner with Telltale before they crashed and now became Skybound. Now, if they partnered with Skybound Entertainment and made a Telltale's game series off of Star Fox that covered the whole situation or Corneria, or even before Fox McCloud took over for his father, if they did either one of those stories, they could draw people in. Then you go ahead and work on the games. No more remakes right now. No more remakes.
Yeah, they need to stop doing
Move forward. No more remakes unless you're going to do Star Fox Adventures again. No more remakes. Because that's causing people to not even want to play the other games, because then they feel like they're getting the same information over and over.
Right.
And to be fair, I would actually let Platinum do it again, but have them do a new game, the next game in the series. Don't, because Star Fox Zero honestly was a remake.
Oh, was it? It was 64, wasn't it?
64, right?
Yeah, it was a remake.
That's what I thought.
So then why didn't people like it? Because you said you I don't,
because it was on the Wii
U. This simply the controls, and I'm like, it's not the controls, dude. Because the consensus was, give me an option to play with the Pro controller. I don't want to have to use the gamepad. And I'm like, the gamepad gives you that immersion that you keep saying you want.
People don't like immersion like that. Not
so
for real.
VR
they don't like immersion unless immersion makes them feel happy and pretty.
Yeah,
their immersion is trophies. Like, that's what they
want. Their immersion is ego stroking. That is it. If the game tells you, hey, you operate me like this, and you say, nah, I want to operate like this, and you get kicked in the butt, then that's your fault.
Right. Basically, yeah. So I personally, I would, and I said this just like I said with I would want Platinum or at least another action studio to kind of like either make another Metroid style other M games like Team Ninja. I thought Team Ninja did a good job with other M.
They need another shot.
That story was not their fault. That story was not their fault. but they do need. I think they would do a great job with another go with Metroid. I think Platinum would do a great job with another go at Star Fox, but don't make them do another remake. Make them make an actual.
Let them do Bayonetta in Star Fox. Go ahead, take Crystal and make her Bayonetta game.
I mean, they can pull it off. I'm like,
they really good.
That's what she was for in the first place.
That's what we've seen. What happens when you let them cook? So, yeah, I say let them do it.
That and start giving the characters some other stuff to do. Like Fox is known as an all-around soldier. Why doesn't he have like some soldier infiltration mission?
Yeah, because they tried to do that in Armored Assault. They tried to do that in Armored Assault, but
Falco did what Falco needed to. Falco is probably the most active
he's the pilot. He is the best, technically the best pilot. Why doesn't he have a game where he takes on his own missions away from the team as a mercenary for a bit?
What do you mean? He does. He's got his own. He's in Breath of the Wild. What are you talking about?
I thought you were serious.
He's right there. He handles it himself.
I mean, they made Star Fox Guard. I mean, he's related. They gotta be related somewhere down the line.
Because he got handled right.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel
like you got Star Fox Guard that got ignored too. Star Fox Guard got wholly ignored. That came out with
100%.
0.
Yeah,
100%.
Nobody talk about that game.
I mean, it just looks creative because it's been a while since I played it, but it's one of those things to where it has a fan base that swear that they love it, but they don't even know what they want from it, and that's a nasty place to be. Yeah, it's a nasty place to be. Because they're stuck on 64. Oh yeah, that's Sonic fans 100%. But like it's because they're stuck on Genesis. They're not stuck on Adventure. But the rest of your crew, stuck on Adventure.
I don't claim them. I don't claim them.
They are stuck on Adventure heavy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I always looked at that game, and I hope there is like life for it on Switch 2. And we had a podcast a while back talking about how they could really advance this. I felt like Ubisoft was on to something with Starlink, but because of the stank on them, even if they came out with a top tier game, people still run from it. So it's like they
can't work with them at this point.
Nah, they're the horror of the group. Like you can't be friends with them. Like it's like you ain't done nothing to me, but you just got the stank on you right now. I can't deal with you right now. But
like you gotta stay like 20 feet away.
Like, yeah, let some days pass. Let people forget what you did, and then I'll come holler at you on the low.
I mean, Starlink, the main problem with Starlink was that all those missions were repetitive, and it got to a point where it was just like,
that's
not fun.
Go to the planets, and that's all cool and everything. And then even the little toys,
same thing.
Yeah, you get the same thing.
The same thing over and over. And it got to the point where even the boss monsters on the damn planet look the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, y'all didn't work on this game. I just copied and pasted it.
Yep.
So
they said we're gonna come up with one scenario,
and that's it.
We're gonna come up with one scenario. You're gonna do it over and over again.
But we're gonna let Star Fox carry it.
Yeah, because that's the one. Because I felt bad for like the other versions because I'm like, once they put Team Star Fox in the Nintendo version, I'm like, dude, it's over.
It's done.
Realistically, Andros by now should be Dr. Robotnik at this point.
Yeah, Andros honestly should just be dead. Let's just call it.
Should be dead. Like, he shouldn't be alive.
But since he's going back in time,
right?
I mean, we're doing body horror, so once again, Kirby, we're doing body horror at the end of this game where you're like, I killed him. Nah, his brain.
The brain and eyes is coming for.
Now that you say that, though, you know what would really actually help Star Fox that Nintendo hasn't done, but has been hinted at since the daggone GameCube?
What's that?
The Metroid crossover.
Oh, yeah. Which I think should still have. Like, to be fair, like, I think that would probably, because I know people like, oh, we're looking for the next innovation. I'm like, dude, we didn't hit the plateau with graphics. Let's do these crossovers.
Yeah.
Let's do this Halo Gears crossover. Let's do this Metroid Star Fox crossover. Let's get it in.
They're two franchises that need each other because I mean, while Metroid's good, it doesn't get the love of the reception. It don't sell.
No, sell like that.
I'm telling you, make them crossover. and then put actual Fox McCloud and put Samus Aran in the next F-Zero game that's potentially going to come out, it'll make hype for everybody. It will consistently draw hype. You
Samus
already
in the
got Dread that dropped hype. You already got hype from Dread. You're going to have hype from Prime, the next Prime game. You go ahead and drop a crossover with Star Fox and Samus. Then do a Star Fox game. Then follow that with a new F-Zero. It will keep building on itself.
But Andre, you're missing one game. We need to have Samus in the stands of the next Punch Out game.
It's the next one that
you know for a fact. You know Nintendo gonna do it. Nintendo gonna do it, but no, I don't. Nintendo's gonna do it, but I don't want Lowback to be the protagonist anymore. Punch Out. I want him to be the champion you got to work up to. And then when you get to his fight,
he had his ass moment.
To his fight, you get to his fight, you see a tall bar Amazon with a sign in the background.
There you go. I say he had his ass moment. He finally won something, and now you got to fight him. Yeah.
And make him so hard, it's ridiculous.
Just make him fast, because
make him like Tyson.
He already fast.
That's what I'm saying. Make him faster. That's how you make fast.
If you're gonna make,
you're gonna have to make him. You're gonna have to make him Epo levels of serious, though.
Yo, if they can get it in Epo style, like man.
Oh, dude, they Epo, bro.
Have him hit you with them haymakers.
Yeah,
that contact.
Dude,
but you know what make Lil Max seem more dangerous? If you make his punches sound like you're getting hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, and gotta have a appearance by Clubber Lang.
I was gonna say if you're gonna add all them, you might as well just be like, all right, Rare, bring us TJ Combo.
That's it. Oh, that'd be crazy. Microsoft would do it.
Or just do what Ready to Rumble did and put Michael Jackson in it. that one glittering glove.
See, Tyson can be their Michael, because they had to pull it before, but see, he in good graces now.
Yeah,
right.
Now you can put Tyson.
Yeah,
you can put him back in there now. So yeah, but all right, peeps, we're gonna call it a night for the podcast. Thank you, everybody in chat. We appreciate you. Jack, I know you guys, your song just dropped today.
Anything
else for us?
Yeah, man, they're
Ricky
gonna
Bobby.
continue to drop. Ricky Bobby zooming. Yeah, we're gonna continue to drop every other Sunday. There's a lot of music. Like I said in my previous video, we were gonna do every first Sunday. We have way too much music for that. So we went to every other Sunday. So we'll be doing these releases. For those of you that have Apple Music and can't see it, I'm working with the distro now to figure out like what happened and why it's not there, because it's everywhere else. And even when I look on the list, there's some streaming services I didn't even know existed that's where it's at. Like, so the fact that that's the one that it didn't go to, and it wasn't just that song. It was like all of my albums except for 2 that just didn't go to Apple Music. So I have to see what's going on with that. But outside of that, the video's been doing amazing as far as the conversation about VR. There's a couple more games get ready to come out here pretty soon, because this has been like a hot year for VR. So definitely want to continue having conversations about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, just releasing music, trying to do some more videos here and there while I got the time, and continue to play these games. I really want to see if I can figure out this stupid streaming, not streaming per se, but recording, to actually show gameplay footage of these Quest games, like kind of do what you do, Jay, of like the little silent plays. But yeah, outside of that, and then try to do something creative with these Ray-Ban glasses I have coming in, the metal ones. At first I wasn't going to get them, but then my insurance company was like, hey, we'll cover. I'm like, by all means. Because I wasn't sure if they were going to do it. And then they was like, oh yeah, we'll cover them. They're Ray-Bans, right? I was like, yeah. And my insurance love Ray-Ban because I have to get those for the most part, because they look the best, but then also my insurance covers them 100%. So I was like, oh yeah, bet. Let's do that. And so yeah, they should be here next week. So I want to try to do something with that too and see how interesting that turns out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
All right, Sandstorm.
Vicky, I don't want no parts of OBS at all.
OBS tutorial.
Am I missing something? unless
for
there's something.
multi-streaming.
Oh yeah, I want no parts of OBS. That can kick rocks as far as the Sandstorm show is. Kick rocks. So yesterday, we kind of talked about similar stuff with the Nintendo Music app, as well as Xenoblade Chronicles X. So if you want to hear more opinions on those, Nintendo Cisco came through for a little while, and we really fleshed out the Xenoblade Chronicles X conversation. That was really good. And make sure you subscribe here to this channel as well. So 7 o'clock. If you didn't know, yesterday we have a podcast every Saturday, 7 o'clock. Sandstorm Show Rebirth. Is that right? The Sandstorm Show, yeah, because it's right here. That's what it says. It's right there, and that's what it is. Tomorrow is the Juices Loose podcast. I may or may not be on there. I more likely will not be on there because my church group is doing kind of like a final hurrah tomorrow with having like a dinner or something like that, since we'll no longer be meeting on Mondays, which means you will see me more on Mondays on the Juices Loose podcast at 7 o'clock. So make sure you go over there and hit subscribe. And shout outs to Trey Vito too, for his channel. Go over there and subscribe, as well as Noda Kayui. This weekend was another episode of Anime Talk. And so next weekend will be the Vitoverse. So, yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Andre.
I wish I had something, but unfortunately, life has kept me so busy. I haven't really been able to buckle down and do videos. So, when I do get a free moment, just expect that you are going to get an onslaught of stuff because I have a lot to talk about.
All right, cool. Worked for me. Remember, we got a special guest coming next Saturday. So Saturday, the podcast is going to be on a Saturday, not next Sunday, but next Saturday. We have a special guest that we're going to have stop through.
Oh, dang, that is our double, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our double.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to actually have 2 special guests on that Saturday. Oh, man, I completely forgot about that. Oh, that's going to be awesome. It's our music one, right?
That's our music
one.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Whoa, look at that. And it's a person who does music. So it's perfect.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a music episode next Saturday. Next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a special guest come through. His album is dropping on the 7th. And so he's gonna come through. We're gonna talk, and we're gonna hang out and do what we do. So please come through, show some love and support, and then we'll go back to our regularly schedule because we're getting ready for the end of the year. We're in November, so y'all know what that means.
Yeah, man. The Keeley Award.
It's almost time for us. And this year he says it's gonna be something special because it's 10 years. I mean that show gonna probably be 5 hours.
He getting married.
I love my Boothang Awards.
He getting married. He getting proposed to.
So, y'all know how we normally do for the Game Awards. It's usually a 3 to 4 hour to 6 hour roast session.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a nap that on the 12th.
Yeah, I got
before it starts. But yeah, we'll get more into that a little later. But just remember, next episode is going to be on the 9th, which is Saturday. So please remember that. And we will see you guys then. I'll leave a reminder in the Discord and on the community, on the post tab on YouTube. So everybody know that it's going to be Saturday. So, all right. Have fun. Thank you guys for dropping through once again. We appreciate you in the chat, and we'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace out, people.
Peace, everybody. Grease.